Now we will take up all the kingdoms one by one. Let us begin with first kingdom, kingdom Monera. Monera are commonly called as bacteria. They are unicellular and prokaryotic. Prokaryotic, you know, they lack a membrane bound nucleus and they do not have membrane bound cell organelles as well. So this kingdom Monera is further divided into two main groups: Archaebacteria, which are ancient bacteria and live in extremely harsh conditions, and Eubacteria, which are true bacteria. So you can see a flow chart here which shows how these Archaebacteria and Eubacteria are further divided. Like Archaebacteria is divided into methanogens, thermoacidophiles, chemosynthesizers and extreme halophiles, whereas Eubacteria are divided into gram-positive, gram-negative and cyanobacteria. So let us take them one by one. Methanogens. Methanogens, they live in oxygen-free environment and produce methane. They are also present in the intestines of the ruminating cattle. They are also found in swamp places and produce very foul smell. Next are the heat-loving prokaryotes, which are called thermoacidophiles. They are found in extremely high temperature and they also are present in acidic environment, and they oxidize the sulfur to produce H2SO4. And next comes the halophiles, extreme halophiles, salt loving. They live in water which is 10 times salter than the sea water. They are found in places like Dead Sea. Next are the chemosynthesizer or chemoautotrophs. They use the energy of the chemicals to produce their own food by the process of oxidation. And they also live in very harsh environment like hot sulfur vents. So we can say that Archaebacteria are divided into methanogens, thermoacidophiles, chemosynthesizer and extreme halophiles. Next is Eubacteria. Eubacteria are actually the true bacteria. They are of different types. They can be studied on various parameters. So first we will take up cell morphology. So based on the shape, bacteria may be of different types: cocci, bacilli, vibrio, spirillum, spirochetes. These are certain terms you must know. Like bacillus means rod-shaped bacteria, coccus means spherical, vibrio comma-shaped, spirillum spiral-shaped, spirochete worm-like shape. So let us see them. See, on the extreme left is the spirillum bacteria. Second is bacilli, rod shape. And on extreme right is the cocci, spherical shaped bacteria. And they can further be arranged. The bacteria, spherical bacteria may be just one, or they may be two together, or they may be present in the form of a branch, or they may be present in the form of a bunch. So all these bacteria, they show lot of variations with respect to their shapes. You can see here with the diagram, coccus round shape, then bacillus rod shape, streptococci chain shaped, diplococci present in pairs, and spirochete spiral. Now you can see so many different shapes of bacteria, and along with the shape they have some thread-like structures present on them which helps them in the movement, and that structure is called as flagella. So flagella is also one of the characteristic feature of a bacteria. Based on the flagella, bacteria may be monotrichous, lophotrichous, amphitrichous or peritrichous. So as the term suggests, mono means single polar flagellum is there. Lopho means they are present a bunch at only one end. Amphitrichus means two flagella on both the sides, and peritrichus means many flagella which are present throughout the body of the bacteria. So here you can see based on the flagellum also we can study bacteria. Next comes the bacterial size. Bacterial size generally ranges between 0.2 to 0.2 to 5 micrometer, and smallest bacterium is Mycoplasma. And you can see this is a typical prokaryotic cell. The structure of a prokaryotic cell is very simple. You can see in the center there is a thread-like structure called as nucleoid, and you can see here also it has a specific structure where it has got a nucleoid which is made up of chromosomal DNA. Then there are foldings called as mesosomes. Then it has got ribosomes, it has got cell membrane and cell wall. So the whole structure of a bacterial cell can be divided into essential structures which include nucleoid, cytoplasm, cytoplasmic membrane, cell wall, whereas other structures may be capsule, flagella, pili, endospore.
Bacteria are single-celled prokaryotic microorganisms. They can be found everywhere on the planet. The ancestors of modern bacteria appeared on Earth about 3.5 billion years ago. The cytoplasm is the basis of a bacterium cell. It contains the genetic material, that is, the ring-shaped DNA. Unlike in eukaryotes, proteins are not attached to the DNA in prokaryotes. The cytoplasm is enclosed in the cell membrane. All bacteria have a cell wall. It is tough and rigid, and it is made from proteins and polysaccharides. It provides the cells with structural support and protection. Outside the cell wall is the capsule, which is made mainly from polysaccharides. It protects the cell and is responsible for the diseases caused by some bacteria in the host organism. Some bacteria are capable of active locomotion through the use of their flagella. Bacteria have an exceptional ability to adapt and reproduce, and this is why they are extremely widespread. They are capable of both sexual and asexual reproduction. If they reproduce through binary fission, which is a form of asexual reproduction, it results in a large number of individual bacteria cells. Bacteria occur in a wide range of shapes, including spheres, rods, and spirals. Spherical bacteria, which are called cocci, can occur as single cells, pairs, chains, or clusters. Many bacteria that produce suppurative infections or pneumonia are spherical. Gonorrhea is also caused by cocci. One group of rod-shaped bacteria are called bacilli. These can be harmless, such as the lactobacilli used in the food industry. Many bacilli cause diseases, like the pathogens of plague, tuberculosis, salmonellosis, and tetanus. Escherichia coli, which is commonly found in the human intestinal system, is also a bacillus. Syphilis, Lyme disease, and leptospirosis are caused by spiral-shaped bacteria. Gram staining is a method of differentiating bacteria into two groups, i.e., gram-negative and gram-positive. The basis of differentiation is that staining produces different results in the cell walls of different types of bacteria because of their different structure. The two types of bacteria react to antibiotics differently, so treating different bacterial infections requires